personally don't just love it, I effing love it. I adore finding out that there is real hard data that backs up all of my extreme social justice beliefs. It just makes me feel so much more justified in my virtue signaling. So today, bigots, I'm going to be taking you on an adventure to see what real facts look like. Now, you probably have a very misogynistic view of what the perfect woman looks like, but what if I told you, according to science, this chubby chick is the hottest body type? Do you agree? Well, it is science, so I guess I can't really disagree, can I? Let's check out the article anyway. So this article cites a study from the University of Texas. And that link doesn't go to the study, but just goes to another article about the study, which then has a link to no study. Fine, alright, I can't find the study, but there is tons more articles on this topic and about Kelly Brooks, so let's check some of those out. Whoa there! Hello, the Sun. Why the hell does this Kelly Brook chick look like an entirely different person in these Sun UK photos? And which pictures were they using in the study to show the men they tested? Because there's quite a big difference here. And speaking of, I'm still curious how this study was conducted, and I think that's going to be important to figure out what's really going on here. So I finally found one clickbait site that provided me with the link. So let's read this study summary. About 100 men rated the attractiveness of several manipulated images displaying spinal curves ranging across the natural spectrum. Men were most attracted to images of women exhibiting the hypothesized optimum of 45 degrees of lumbar curvature. What? Okay, I'm not really sure what that means, but nothing about Miss Brooks here, so let's try the next paragraph. Approximately 200 men were presented with groups of images of women with differing buttock size and vertebral wedging, but maintaining a 45.5 degree curve. Men consistently preferred women whose spinal curvature was closer to optimum regardless of buttock size. Nowhere in this study summary does it say anything about Kelly Brook or her measurements. And if I want the full study, I have to pay $40 freaking. So even though I'm about 110% certain these clickbait sites did not spend that money, I did. And what a freaking waste of money. Because it still doesn't say shit about Kelly Brook or her measurements. The study literally just says a couple hundred men preferred a 45.5 degree curve from back to buttocks on manipulated pictures. This is not the scientifically perfect body. This totally different looking image may very well be, but even so, I can't find her in the study. What I did find is that a Photoshop manipulated ass at a 45.5 degree curve is just preferable for mating to a few hundred men. Isn't science great? Alright, so what other science can we do today, guys? Oh, well, this one's been all over the news right now. Females were powerful warriors historically. Look at that! A buried Viking warlord is actually a female. That's badass. Science seems to be strangely feminist these days, but let's check things out. In the 1880s, the body of a Viking warrior was dug up. Ever since, most have assumed that this military leader was a man. However, now equipped with DNA evidence, archaeologists have concluded that this high-status Viking warrior was actually a woman. Who would have thought? And if you check out the study, it looks pretty solid. They found her with weapons, did a DNA test, and basically, the patriarchy is finished. Well, I guess that solves it. Another day of science well done. Wait, what's this? A female professor of Vikings has some bones to pick with the study? And not only that, she was one of the major citations in it. This is gonna be good. So, it turns out, while a lot of detail was given to DNA, the people who did the Viking woman study did not include, any experts on language or texts, but did at least cite some experts, including Judith Jesch, who then published a pretty great sassy response saying they didn't even put in the slight effort to read her more recent content on women and warriors. She then tears them apart on one of their largely cited second studies, Kelstorm 2016, which apparently contains nothing suggesting the deceased was a female. In fact, it's an article summarizing research on a large body of material, which may or may not have included the specific burial in question. Not only that, but apparently the researchers basically pulled out of their asses the idea that this buried Viking woman was a high-ranking officer. They literally say this simply because she was buried with a full set of gaming pieces. Total speculation on their part. Am I a warlord now? And then, probably one of the most damning points, the study showed no pathological or traumatic injuries observed on the skeleton, despite her allegedly being a 30-year-old military officer in the Viking Age. So apparently, the warriors of these graves were either so good they were never injured, or perhaps they weren't really warriors at all, says Professor Jesh. And if that didn't put the nail in the coffin of this clickbait, well, it's even admitted that there's no certainty that the bones they tested were the correct ones, considering things could have been moved around since the initial 1900s excavation. And Jesh sums things up pretty nicely, saying they probably should have considered these possibilities before selling out archaeology to the clickbait squad and attempting to get more funding. Was it possible, for example, for a biological woman to have been buried with a full warrior outfit, even if she had not been a warrior in life? After all, archaeologists are always cautioning us that the dead don't bury themselves, and they often seem not to like interpretations in which the deceased's grave goods are taken as representing their roles in life. But such perspectives do not seem to be applied here. They want the woman to be a warrior, so the scientific analysis makes her a woman, and her archaeological context makes her a warrior. No doubt other explanations are possible, still assuming that the bones have been correctly assigned to the grave goods, but discussion of such alternatives would rather detract from that arresting title and would probably have ruled out publication in the American Journal of Physical Anthropology. Oh snap, that was pretty savage from an intellectual point. But no worries guys, I'm sure not all clickbait science is fake, right? On the next episode of According to Science with Lauren, we'll be exploring how, according to science, race doesn't exist. Wait, where the hell did that video go? Maybe if I click on this. Damn it, there's no source to this at all. Okay, that's fine, scratch that. Next time we'll be looking at how the typical gamer is a middle-aged educated female. Wonderful to hear they're putting their gender studies degrees to good use. We all know the average Call of Duty player is a middle-aged woman, of course. Sounds totally legit, so be sure to stay tuned for that episode, and I will see you guys next time.
If you don't want to pay